About 75% of income earners that see increases in their income, either by job changes or pay raises, confess to practicing some form of lifestyle inflation. What is lifestyle inflation? It is the act of increasing your lifestyle expenses as your income increases. The problem with lifestyle inflation is it is misconstrued. Lifestyle inflation in and of itself is not a bad idea. However, it is the method or the approach to which you practice it that makes it either a successful one or a bad one. Even billionaires practice some form of lifestyle inflation. However, it's their method and their style to do it. Example, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos are my top two. Jeff Bezos for years drove an under-Accord sedan, even when it was worth $10 billion. In the last 5 years, he has started splurging on his wealth. He bought a super yacht, he's bought mansions, and is enjoying vacationing. But if you notice it, his net worth has actually skyrocketed. Now it's worth between $120 to $180 billion any given time. So 10 times, when he earned 10 times his income, then he started splurging and experiencing lifestyle inflation. However, even with the spending, you can see he's taking calculated risk. Same thing with Mark Zuckerberg. Always known to wear plain shirts and doesn't take a salary from Facebook. For years, he's been always frugal. Recently, he bought a super yacht worth about $300 million. You see, he's also practicing lifestyle inflation. But look at it. Mark Zuckerberg has actually seen his net worth increase multiple fold. It's worth anywhere between $150 to $200 billion at any point in time. The common theme among these billionaires and many more is how they approach lifestyle inflation. So today I'm going to share with you 4 tips on how to avoid the bad lifestyle inflation. Number 1, have a budget. Of course, you should have seen that. Having a budget is not only for when you are earning low or when you are tight. No. If not, why do companies that have hundreds of billions of dollars in revenues still have budgets? You want to always have a budget because that will keep your mind focused and say, okay, even if my expenses are going to increase, how much am I willing to cap them at? So the number 1 thing you should have is a budget that sets you on track for success. Let the budget mirror your expenses. Don't just say, oh, well, now I'm earning 200,000 or I'm earning 500,000. I'm a baller. No, you always want to have that budget to keep you in track and to guide your lifestyle expenses. Number 2, like I said earlier, take calculated purchases. Think short-term versus long-term. One of the biggest traps that people have when they experience income increases is they buy a car and then they splurge to buy a luxury car, or they can buy expensive apartments or condos. The problem with those is that they are long-term costs that affect your cash flow. Higher car purchases. You go and buy an expensive house and then start paying high mortgage that begins to affect you. Lifestyle inflation can be very bad and can affect your cash flow and your net worth. So you want to start thinking, what I want to buy now, is it going to be short-term impacts or long-term? Short-term impact doesn't mean like, oh, well, if I buy a shoe today, it's short-term. No, it's about thinking short-term to my cash flow. How much of a ding will my cash flow have if I take on this debt or take on this purchase? You want to always think about the impact of your expenses. Look for short-term expenses. Example, I recently experienced a serious bump in our family income last year, fall. To celebrate it, my wife and I took a luxurious getaway trip for a weekend. That was a one-time trip that came from my paycheck from 1 month. And that was it. You have to think calculated and think ahead. Always sit down and say, okay, I got this pay bump. I got this job raise. How much am I going to spend that will not decrease my cash flow, but instead bring me more returns? That's how you calculate your expenses and ensure they bring you the highest ROI. Number 3, avoid bad debt. This is a big trap a lot of people fall into when they start earning more money. They start saying, oh, I want to upgrade my TV. I want to upgrade my couch. I want to buy this. I want to buy this jewelry. And because they can't afford it at once, they start opening credit cards. And because they have good credit score, they want to go all out and avoid this kind of debts. No, you want to start thinking about good debt instead. Think about debt that will bring in more money. Now you are earning high. How much can you earn more? Think about your ROI. Avoid any form of bad debt that threaten your cash flow and your net worth. You want to always increase your net worth. An increase in income should not be a decrease in net worth. It should be an increase in your net worth. And the only way to increase your net worth is either by reducing your debt or increasing your investments. If you are avoiding your bad debts, pay down all the bad debts that you have, or take on good debts. Regardless of everything, avoid bad debts. Avoid taking on new debts. Your job should be, how can I lower my bad debts and increase my good debts or my assets so that my net worth skyrockets and increases as my income and my value increases. And the last piece is set financial goals. Financial goal setting is one of the best tools to avoid lifestyle inflation. If you're always thinking about goals, so example, you get a pay raise, or you get a stock, or you get a bonus, instead of thinking, can I buy this car? Think, do I have my emergency fund saved up? If the answer is no, set a goal to start saving for your emergency funds. Instead of thinking, oh, let me buy that nice shoe, or buy those nice purses, or buy that luxury couch and luxury mattress, think, do I have savings for short-term liquidity? Think, okay, vacation is coming in. Do I have enough money for my vacation for the next year? Think, summer is coming to an end. Do I have kids that have to go back to school? Start thinking about financial goals. The more goals you set, the less you spend on lifestyle inflation. And this is guaranteed to help you stay in check. Because when you have those goals, your mind will be thinking, well, do I save for emergency or buy that Louis Vuitton bag? Do I go to Paris on a private jet or book Spirit Airlines? I'm not saying you should go with Spirit, of course, but the whole idea is saying, am I thinking about my financial goals? What goals are you working on? If you are all set with your emergency savings, short-term liquidity, start thinking about building wealth. You always have to have goals. Do you have kids? Start investing in their college fund. Do you have taxes coming up next year that you might be owing taxes? Start saving money towards avoiding those high taxes coming in the next year. Regardless, the more goals you set, the less you are likely to practice the bad lifestyle inflation and move towards increasing your net worth. These tips are very practical, like I always say. I like to keep it real. Let me know if I missed any tips that you applied in the past to avoid bad lifestyle inflation, or you found them helpful. Regardless, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, bye for now.